Today is Monday, August 9. I'm Pastor Michael, and this is Wilderness Wanderings. Our text is Isaiah 40:26. Lift up your eyes and look to the heavens. Who created all these? He who brings out the starry host one by one and calls forth each one of them by name. Because of his great power and mighty strength, not one of them is missing. It's good to be back. I'm one of the co-pastors at Immanuel Church here in Hamilton, Ontario. My colleague, Pastor Anthony, has been away for some time on sabbatical. You should begin hearing his melodic tones on these airwaves sometime next week. For those of you reading these words, his will appear here. Thanks again to Mr. Verkerk for filling in for me while I was on vacation, and to Jennifer Heidinga, who continues to fill in for Pastor Anthony admirably. We often hope that vacation provides time for things like decompression, relaxation, reflection, or recharging, those kind of things. It was for me, but it came in an odd way. We were not hiding. We watched some of the Olympics and kept up with the happenings in the world a bit. And reflecting on that, I couldn't help thinking the world is an ugly place. I don't think I need to explain that or elaborate. It seems self-evident. But sitting by the lake, doing a little fishing, don't get excited, you fishing folk. Those fish I was after weren't biting. Driving through parts of Ontario and Quebec, I couldn't help noticing that the world is also a beautiful place. So our text for today came to mind. Lift up your eyes and look to the heavens. Who created all these? He who brings out the starry hosts one by one and calls forth each of them by name. Because of his great power and mighty strength, not one of them is missing. Others as well. The heavens declare the glory of God. The skies proclaim the work of his hands. Day after day they pour forth speech. Night after night they reveal knowledge. Psalm 19, verse 1 and 2. And for since the creation of the world, God's invisible qualities, his eternal power and divine nature, have been clearly seen, being understood from what has been made. Romans 1:20. This has always been the key for Christians. God's invisible qualities are visible in creation. The things he created and has sustained throughout the millennium reflect his glory. As his glory shines through, we see beauty. It was good to see. I hope many of you will see beauty as God's glory shines through. While perceiving this beauty and recognizing that it is still true that this world is an ugly place, I remembered one of my favorite literary quotes. There's some good in this world, Mr. Frodo, and it's worth fighting for, from The Two Towers by J.R.R. Tolkien. And for you movie buffs, it made it into the movies, and arguably one of the top scenes of the Lord of the Rings trilogy. But then again, it may have been in the extended director's cut that some of you may not have watched. And so, I returned from vacation, ready to continue with the good fight, as the Apostle Paul named it. But how does one fight in this complex and ugly world tinged with beauty? Jesus' words to his disciples put it simply, whoever wants to become great among you must be your servant, and whoever wants to be first must be your slave. Just as the Son of Man did not come to be served, but to serve, and to give his life as a ransom for many. Matthew 20:26-28. It seems that our natural human desire is to do great deeds, things that will make it into the history books. Yet our Lord, the one we serve, calls us to help the least in the world, and not to display our deeds before others. In the small acts of kindness and love, the glory of the Lord will also shine forth. Maybe nobody will notice, but our Lord does, and that is all that matters. As you journey on, go with the blessing of God. May the peace of the Lord Christ go with you, wherever he may send you. May he guide you through the wilderness, protect you through the storm. May he bring you home rejoicing at the wonders he has shown you. May he bring you home rejoicing once again into our doors.